You guys remember when John Jones beat Cyril Gane and then said, "You guys want to see me beat up Stipe? We give the fans what they want." Now we fast forward to the Stipe versus Jones fight, and John Jones is denying the fans what they want. And the fans are obviously shouting Tom Aspinall. That UFC press conference was interesting because you could tell Jones is pressed between a rock and a hard place. And that's the interesting thing about John Jones' career. He could beat every fighter on the roster. He just can't beat himself or his own nature and his own flaws get in his own way all the time. And I think it kind of leaves a lesson to be desired that no matter how good of a fighter you are, you can always beat yourself. I'm pretty much pulling a quote from his, community service back way in the day, but he does have the tendency to be his own worst enemy. And I think it would be in his best interest to at least take the Aspinall fight. Now, I know that I made a bunch of videos talking about how, look, if John Jones rides off into the sunset after fighting Stipe, if he wins against Stipe and gets and retains the title, he relinquishes it, moves on, and never mentions Tom no matter what. It's almost like I'm okay with that because he's not the first fighter to get that special of treatment. People have a very short memory, but who remembers Conor McGregor with UFC 229 after all the stuff that he pulled with the dolly in the bus? That's really, I don't believe that incident was really staged, to be honest. I think that he really did something, bad, and, the judge obviously saw that he was a professional fighter and probably wanted to see the Khabib fight. That's just my guess. I don't know what everyone was thinking in that courtroom, but they let Conor McGregor go, and they let him headline and main event at UFC 229 because he was making the big bucks. And John Jones is still racking in pay-per-view with his, because a lot of people are probably going to be watching because they're hoping Stipe catches John Jones. That would probably be even funnier. But that's like the thing. The fans are making it super heard. And even though the jaded part of me that just doesn't want to keep repeating myself on a scenario that's probably not going to happen because we know what everybody's thinking. We know John doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. And he just wants out and he wants to ride off and he wants to get away with one title defense at heavyweight against Stipe, who's in his 40s. I think I just accepted that jaded reality. But if the fans can keep pressing and they somehow make this happen, that's the best thing. It's good for us, the fans, because it's the fight that we all do really want to see deep down, whether we're willing to accept the jaded reality or not. It's good for Tom Aspinall because he gets what he finally earned. And then it's also good for John Jones. Because not only if John Jones beats Tom Aspinall somehow, does he prove the fans wrong one last time and then he could retire and then actually have legitimate GOAT status. But let's say even if Tom Aspinall beats him, which honestly I feel like is going to happen, I think I'd have a little bit more respect for John Jones in that realm and be more satisfied with his career as a fan if he took a loss to someone who's just up and coming, and it's a good argument that, he's not the same fighter he was 10, 15 years ago, a long time ago. He's been around for a long time, and he still has a presence. Who knew? He spent a lot of time in legal battles and still kept a presence, and here he is today. So it's just the best route no matter what the outcome of an Aspinall versus Jones fight would be. But that's what I got to say. My final message is to the fans, you know what? Keep shouting Aspinall. During the Jones versus Stipe fight, keep shouting Aspinall, Aspinall. You know what? I'd be totally okay with that, because, I don't think it's going to distract Jones from beating Stipe, but it might put some pressure on Dana White and the UFC and maybe even John Jones himself to do the right thing and fight the guy who says, "Nothing personal, John, but I just think I'm better than you." That's my attempt at an English accent. Sorry, Tom Aspinall, that I put your accent to shame like that. But also, Tom Aspinall, I'm a huge fan. But that's what I got to say. Yeah, let's see it. Let's call for an Aspinall fight on the web. I'm for it. Peace out.